What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our Big Ten football channel.
Our 2020 college football predictions continue with the Ohio State Buckeyes, team that made it to the college football playoff last season, just one win away from playing for a national championship. I'll admit I was off the mark on this team last season. I thought that it was going to be a little bit of a down year for them. I thought Michigan actually, it was their big opportunity last season. That obviously did not play out. I wasn't super high on Justin Fields. I thought he'd be good, but I didn't think he would be a superstar right away. I missed the mark there as well. The defense did improve last season. Chase Young was, a monster on the defensive line. But yeah, Justin Fields definitely proved me wrong. And if you saw our top 25 quarterback list, I actually had Justin Fields at number 1. So I am a believer in Justin Fields, and this team offensively might be the best in the country. Here's what some other people are thinking about the Buckeyes. The FBI has them at 11.3 and 1.3. That would include a potential conference championship game, about a 60% chance of winning the Big Ten East. I think there's one team you got to watch out for in that division. We'll talk about that in just a second. But right there at 11-1, 12-0, somewhere in that range. Vegas has them the over/under for 11 wins, so you either got to go over or under 11. So they're expecting them to, very good chance that they go 12-0. Athlon Sports, their magazine, has them at 12-0 as well. So yes, the Buckeyes, with all they have coming back and the season they had last year, it would be a shocker if they were not right there at 11-1, 12-0 at the end of the season. So here is the schedule, and they do have two big road games this year. Oregon, week 2 on the road. That is going to be a big challenge. And then, of course, that game against Penn State, that is going to be one of the biggest games of the year in all of college football, in my opinion. I think there are major playoff implications in that game. It's going to be a big one. It's not until October, though. We're going to go through the schedule and give our predictions for each game. I think they beat Bowling Green, but let's go ahead and start with Oregon. That game is on the road. I just think Ohio State just has more talent overall. Yes, Oregon is going to be a really talented team this year, but they're going to have a new quarterback. Don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I think Ohio State wins that game. Right now, it looks like there won't even be fans at that game, so I don't think there's going to be, or there won't be, any real home field advantage if that's the case. So I think Ohio State wins that game. I think they win fairly easily. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think the quarterback position, that's what it comes down to. Ohio State just has such an advantage there, and I think they get the win by at least a couple of possessions. Buffalo and Rutgers are next on the schedule. Rutgers is the first Big Ten game of the season. I don't really see Ohio State having any problem with either of these games. I think they roll. I think they win both games by 20, 30 plus points. And really, that'll bode well for them, getting a couple of easier games, or really 3 easier games if you count Bowling Green, before they get into the meat of the Big Ten conference schedule. So I think they start off 4-0, and then they play Iowa on October 10th. This could be an interesting game. You never know. Iowa's a team that usually is going to kind of slow the game down. Against a high-powered offense, you might not get the ball as much. A couple of turnovers could change this game and make it interesting, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think Iowa's going to be able to do a whole lot offensively in this one. So because of that, I don't think they're really able to play that keep-away game against Ohio State. I think Ohio State will be able to score plenty, and I think they win this game easily. So I'm going to go with a 5-0 start and a 2-0 start in the Big Ten. Then on October 17th, they'll play on the road at Michigan State. Normally, this is one of those games, especially right before Penn State. This is one of those games you would say, look out, that's the upset alert game. Michigan State has done it before. They're going to have the defense similar to Iowa. They're going to be able to slow the game down. But just like Iowa, I don't think Michigan State is going to have enough offense to do much in this game. Yeah, it's on the road. It could be a fluky game. I mean, their defense is going to have to play lights out if they're going to have any chance in this one. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Ohio State is just a much better football team. I think they win easily, and they get another win. And here's the game right here, October 24th. This is the season for Ohio State, in my opinion, because it's the only game I honestly could see them losing. I think that they have a chance to lose this game. Penn State is going to be really good this year. I've got them, I think, at number 5 in my top 25 poll. Defensively, they're going to be really good, probably better than Ohio State. Offensively, if Sean Clifford can take that next step, they become dangerous offensively as well because they're going to be able to run the football. This will be a close game in my opinion. Remember, a few years ago, Penn State needed some special teams help to win, but playing at home, it'll probably be a wideout. They're going to have a shot, but I think Ohio State is just a little too good. I think they find a way to get this one done in the fourth quarter. I think it's a close game. I think Justin Fields makes the play. Sean Clifford, maybe not quite there to where he's going to make those big plays, and Ohio State will win in the fourth quarter. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Clifford will prove me wrong, and if he plays well, if he plays really well in this game and they have a passing game, I think Penn State has a really good shot to win. But I'm going to go with Ohio State, go with the safer pick there. Nebraska on Halloween. Remember last year, a lot of people predicted Nebraska to upset Ohio State in the preseason. They had them at home. It was definitely one of those games that it got your attention. You thought maybe that's the team that they lose to out of the West this year, but it didn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think Nebraska still is not anywhere near the level of Ohio State. I got the Buckeyes big at home. Maybe they start slow, a little bit of a letdown after playing Penn State in that big game, but I think that they get the win. A game that could be interesting here on November 7th is against Indiana. Indiana is going to be a good team. They're going to be possibly a top 25 team this season. They're going to have a good offense. Defensively, we'll see what they got, but offensively, I think they're going to be able to score some points in this game. We get into a little bit of a shootout, but it's one of those games where, yes, it stays kind of close, but you never really think Ohio State has any chance to lose. I think they keep a little bit of a cushion all game long. It's fairly close, but I got Ohio State winning this game by 10 to 14 points, somewhere in that range, but maybe closer than the experts think. Maryland on November 14th is up next. Maryland has been a disaster as of late. Last year, I thought they were going to make a big jump. I thought they were going to be much better than they were. It did not happen. We saw a couple of years ago when Ohio State went to Maryland. That game was really, really close. They almost lost that game. Could that happen again this year? Could Maryland maybe surprise and make this game interesting? I don't think so. I think Ohio State will be prepared. I just don't think Maryland's going to have enough overall talent to play with Ohio State. I think Buckeyes win big, and they're going to start the season off 10-0. Here's the game. Here's the game on November 21st. You know, Ohio State has a tendency to lose to some team out of the Big Ten West on the road and get upset. It's happened a couple times recently. This is the game. Illinois, remember they upset Wisconsin last year. They've got a lot coming back. This is a team that's going to be pretty good this year. It's right before playing Michigan. So this is a very tricky game for Ohio State. You had better watch out for this one because they don't bring their A game. Illinois could get a couple of turnovers. Something crazy could happen. You never know. We could see a big upset in the next to the last week of the season, but I think Ohio State will be ready. I think their talent, again, is just going to win the day, and I think they beat Illinois. Maybe they get a scare, but the Buckeyes get the win there before playing Michigan. They get Michigan at home this year. Last year, I said that was Michigan's chance. They had them at home. They had an experienced team. Ohio State was going to have a new head coach, new quarterback. That was the season. That was the chance for Michigan. And it wasn't even close. They got blown out. And I just don't know if Michigan's ever going to beat Ohio State again. I mean, when is it going to happen? You look down the line, I don't know. Maybe next year they get them at home. Justin Fields will be gone. But this Ohio State team continues to separate themselves from the rest of the Big Ten. I thought last year they kind of were going to drop back into that range with the other Big Ten teams and not have that separation. But instead, they just really separated themselves even more. They didn't even have a close game really last year. Penn State's that one team that I think could be on Ohio State's level this year and make a game. But other than that, I don't think anyone else challenges them. I think they beat Michigan easily in that final game of the season, and I think they go 12-0 again this season. I do not see a loss on this schedule. Again, Penn State would be that one game you have to watch out for. That's going to be a big one. Illinois, tricky on the road. Oregon, probably not. Even though I do think Oregon's going to be really good this year. I just don't see that one happening. So I'm going to go with Ohio State to go 12-0, and they will move on to the Big Ten Championship game. We'll give you those predictions in the future. But what do you guys think about the Buckeyes? Do you have them going 12-0 as well, or do you have them losing? Who do you have them losing to? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.